Previously on Balls.
Right, okay, we're going to go to our backers now, Top Odds. And, they're our sponsors and we talk to them every week. But this week in particular, with the Ashes getting underway at Lord's, with the Open now underway at Muirfield, and of course the African Champions League group stages underway.
Odds.
Brandon, it's Neal Collins. How are you doing?
Hi, Neil. Good, thank you.
I'm just twittering right now exactly what we're talking about. The Ashes, the Open, and even perhaps a little bit of African Champions League with Pirates kicking off their great challenge in the group stages, and the two Egyptian sides playing in some weird Red Sea resort because they can't play in Cairo, they can't play in Alexandria. But let's talk about. Have you got the Open? Have you got the Open there? What should we go to first, Brandon? You tell me, and I'll follow you. I'm telling my people to go to. Yeah, go on.
I think let's start off with the Open today. It's a massive golf tournament.
Yep.
We spoke about it last week. We touched a little bit on Ernie.
Yep.
I hope none of the punters the 16-1 and followed Phil Mickelson.
Yes.
But yeah, as we know, the Open is teed off already. So if you go onto the front page of Top Odds,
Yes, that's where I am now. Yeah.
and you scroll down, you'll see in our betting play region that the British Open has started, and the bookmakers are offering in-running betting already. So the punter can click on to win outright on that front page.
Yep, looking now. Right, bet in play, coming down to British Open 2000 to win outright. Bing! Because we're also trying to get Len on from World Sports Betting. We're going to try and get Len up in a minute so we can talk with him as well. I'm looking at the odds. So all you do, to the listeners out there, you www.topodds.com, you go into their front page, and then you come down to, it's all live betting on the front, come right down to the Open and then to win outright. Right, let's have a look at this. I'm trying to look at BBC Sport as well and see what the latest scores are coming in. They've got a live bet. And let's have a look, because obviously Justin Rose, everyone's talking about Justin Rose in England as well. And he's a lad that grew up in South Africa and played a lot of golf in South Africa as well. So what do you think? Come on, Brandon, give us a tip here, mate. What are we going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say most of the good English athletes were born in South Africa.
Yeah,
let's just get that out. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very.
I get that a lot.
I mean, your whole cricket team.
Yeah. Chris Froome wasn't born in South Africa.
We won't go there. We'll get there later on.
We will.
But yeah, this is a super tournament. I mean, for a punter, you get great value. I mean, the favourite is Tiger Woods. If you guys want to scroll down, you'll see. I mean, they're offering 17-2 and 8-1.
8-1.
That's a fairly big price for Tiger. I know it's a tough field. I know it's difficult to win.
Yeah.
But I was watching on SuperSport last night. They have all the highlights of last year's tournament and how Ernie won it and things like that. And there were a lot of golfers going into that last day that had a shot. I mean, Tiger Woods, barring a bad bunker shot, was in the tournament. Graham McDowell hooked a couple of balls left, otherwise he was in it. And Adam Scott threw it away. So I think, Adam Scott, at his price, he's near the top of the market. I mean, at 22-1, Lance Michael, Allen Bookmakers offering. You can get 33-1 with World Sports Betting at the moment. He was heartbroken last year, and maybe this is the year he puts it right. He's always there and thereabouts in majors. So maybe, follow him.
Well, Brandon, can I draw your attention right down the bottom, 3 from the bottom of this table on topodds.com. It's live betting. Miguel Angel Jimenez is 25-1 to win the Open. And then we look at the leaderboard today. After 9 holes, Miguel Angel Jimenez of Spain is a -5. He's 3 in front at the moment. I know it's very, very early stages, but do you think now? So if I clicked on him or made a quick couple of phone calls, do you think I could get money on Miguel Angel Jimenez at 25-1 right now, given that he's currently leading the Open by 3 shots?
Yes, most definitely. All the betting that you see now, the bookmakers will offer you immediately. You can either click through to their website. If you click on their logo through Top Odds, it will take you there and you'll be able to strike your bet on their website. Or you can, alternatively, on their website, pick up the phone. Their contact details are on their websites and give them a call. I would be looking here if you do like Jimenez, and he is three shots clear, as you say, to take the 33-1 with Alan Bookmaker as opposed to the 25-1. So as you can see, bookies have differing opinions at this early stage, and you as the punter can take advantage of that. So if you want to jump on Jimenez, take the 33-1 with Alan Bookmaker.
I'm also fascinated that Mickelson is joint favourite according to most of the odds here. Having won the Scottish Open at Loch Lomond, very, very different conditions at Inverness. Loch Lomond, it's not a links course, it's a much greener, softer course than Muirfield. But I see that after 3 holes, Phil Mickelson is 2 under, and I saw him talking last night and saying it's not often you win 2 in a row, but why not? And anyone could win it. Mickelson always a contender as well.
I was just going to say that to you. And in fact, he's won before a major before and won the major.
Yeah.
He actually said that in his interview. There's only a few golfers that have done it, and he's one of them. So, yeah, Phil's playing very good golf at the moment. I don't like Americans in these European tournaments. I don't know why.
Neither do I.
I'd stick with the Aussies, the South Africans, and the Brits. But I think the South Africans have a good charge this year. I don't think Ernie will win it again. But what about a guy like Louis Oosthuizen? I mean, it suits his game.
Louis done it
before. He's also been very quiet.
Yeah, no.
And you can get at the moment. I think you can get 66-1 with Alan Bookmaker and 50-1 with WSB. So he's not a bad price at the moment. I don't know if he's teed off yet.
How good is that? I remember when Louis won it the first time, everyone going mad. He had a little kid in his hand. He was phoning. I was in Britain then. We were phoning. I think George it was, where his golf course was, trying to find anyone that knew anything about him. After 2 holes, Ernie Els has already won over, which is that Nick Fowler's still won over after 5. So I'm a bit worried about Ernie's start today. But again, look, we're looking at very early stages. We know that Justin Rose is level after 4, Ian Poulter level after 4, because Poulter and Rose would be 2 guys that I would be betting on. With my background and my knowledge of Poulter being an Arsenal fan and being 45-1 on your odds. I always love Ian Poulter, the way he dresses, his own kind of clothing range and all that kind. Lee Westwood 25-1, another one that's never really done it. But Luke Donald 30-1, that's another good bet. But the best of the South Africans, who is actually the favourite South African at this point? Have we looked?
I think Louis.
It must be Ernie, or is it Louis? Is it? Yeah, okay.
Louis up there. Richard Stern, you can get it 100-1 at the moment with World Sports Betting. Brandon Grace, this guy, I don't know, he came out of nowhere, plays good golf. Is he ready to win a major? 40-1? I don't know. I'd be taking maybe Louis' odds at 66-1 before putting any money on Grace. Brand Snedeker, the American, I mean, he was up there the whole of last tournament, and he also just faded away. So the disadvantage here for golfers is that it's not at the same golf course. I mean, they can't go back. Well, thankfully for Adam Scott, he can't go back to Lytham. And
he never wants to go back to Lytham St Anne's. It's like it's literally 2 different countries, isn't it? Lytham St Anne's a very different course to Muirfield, and it's a whole different game for him.
Yes. A guy I want to bring to the attention of punters, and maybe you can shed some light on it, is Padraig Harrington. I mean, he's a 2-time winner.
Yep.
I know he's been very quiet, but Darren Clark was quiet and he came and won it. So it suits their playing styles, it suits their conditions. The conditions suit them. What about a guy like Harrington at 100-1? You can get 100-1 at the moment with World Sports Betting and 80-1 with Alan Bookmaker.
Well, a lot of British and Irish punters saying, come on, where's the third one for Harrington? I wonder if you look at Northern Ireland and South Africa and the pool of golfers that they draw from, they are 2 miraculous countries, and obviously you got McIlroy and that from the Irish. It'd be interesting to put a bet on for any Northern Ireland or South African to win this Open. That would be quite an interesting bet for me to have a look at.
Well, you can call through the bookies. You can go onto their websites. They do offer a lot of exotics. A lot of those exotics will be suspended at the moment because the round has begun. But by this evening, once the 4 balls are complete, the exotics will reopen. So you can definitely get a bet in terms of the nationality of the winner, etc., which will be available on Top Odds and on the bookies website after the round has been completed.
Cool. All right, mate. I guess.
What about a guy like Tiger Woods? Just quickly. Tiger Woods at 10-1. I mean, he was in the tournament last year. Do you think that's a bit of value? I don't know so much. You don't often get 10-1 on Tiger. So if you do take it and he does start well, I mean, he's going to go 5-2, 2-1 at the end of day one. So it could be a good buy if that's what you're looking for.
I wouldn't bet on anyone in a golf tournament anything less than 10s, but that's just a conservative estimate on my part. Maybe Tiger at his peak, or Jack Nicklaus or someone at their peak was less than 10. But with golf, there's so many. It's so different to betting on a team sport, isn't it? It's like even when you're trying to bet on who's going to get the most runs in a test match, you've got 22 other players. Here you've got hundreds of top golfers coming in and out of form, playing different kinds of courses. A links course with the wind and at the moment the weather's good, but what will happen tomorrow? You know what England's like, what Scotland's like, even worse. So anything can happen. I would never bet on anyone at less than 10s in a golf tournament, but could be wrong. We'll see.
100%. But I mean, if your money's on an Englishman, you must just hope it rains and rains and rains. They're very good swimmers.
Yeah, that's right. I always think that if it gets muddy and it gets wet, it's got to fancy an Englishman above, say, the South Africans or the Australians or the Americans with their very, very hard, quick greens. I do think that the English and Irish players do enjoy it when it rains and the wind gets up, because they're used to playing in those conditions. I mean, playing it for a couple of years here in the winters in South Africa, you realise that golf is a different sport in South Africa to what it is in Scotland and Northern England particularly. That it's just beautiful to play here in the dry and the winter here. And there you're playing, I mean, the ball doesn't run, the ball just plugs, and it's a whole different sport. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, go on.
Let's draw attention to... Do you want to go to the Ashes? Let's go.
I'm looking now at Cowan and Stark dropped. Ed Cowan and Mitchell Stark have been dropped for Lords, replaced by Usman Khawaja, the Pakistani lad, and Ryan Harris, who was a pro at my cricket club at Gerrards Cross in England at the age of 19. Quite an interesting change that. The Australians obviously making 2 changes after losing by 14 runs. I'm quite surprised.
Me too. I think they were more in that test match than they thought they were. I don't know what happened in terms of that chase. When Michael Clarke came to the wicket, I thought, okay, this is the chance for him, make your 100 and win the test match for your country. The wicket was flat. If twice in the innings your number 9 partnership nearly breaks a record, I mean, that's got to tell you something about your top order, and maybe they just don't have the quality that we used to. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think England will beat them again. I think they're just a well-oiled machine, England. They got out of it late in that game, but they won, and that's what good test sides do. They grind out results. Australia chasing 300 with 2 days to go, or a day and a half to go. They were value. I mean, you thought they were ahead when we spoke last in the first test, and you weren't far wrong. I mean, 14 runs is a coin toss. So, yeah, I don't know. I think England will win it again. I don't know if you've opened the market for the punters to have a look. England at even money.
I'm looking
betting
right now.
World, England at 11 to 10. So if you like England, that would be the bookie to take your bet with regards to those markets.
Oh, yeah, the betting world's the last one on your... Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Slightly different odds to LM Bookmaker and World Sports Betting. Okay. Mate.
So if you want to have a look here, in terms of the punters here, they each have a different opinion with regards... the bookmakers, rather, each have a different opinion with regards to each outcome. If you have a look at Australia, LM Bookmaker are offering 33 to 10, which is the best price on Australia. World Sports Betting at 3 to 1, and Betting World at 29 to 10. So it's 3 different opinions in terms of the strength of this Australian side. If you look at the draw, it is World Sports Betting that are offering the best prices in terms of 22 to 10. And then Betting World offering you the best price on England. So the bookies are already split in terms of their interpretation of this fixture before the first ball is bowled. Those will change. And it's a very, very difficult game to get involved in, I think, on day one.
It's very, very difficult, especially with what Mickey Arthur's done to the Australians this week. It's absolutely... I mean, if you read some of the Australian papers this week, Mickey Arthur, the South African who was sacked just before the Ashes, resigned just before the Ashes, replaced by Darren Lehmann. And the funny thing is that Darren Lehmann is best mates with the lad that they've just brought in today. And you can see the cool hand of Darren Lehmann changing things massively in the Australian camp. And in the background now you've got bloody Mickey Arthur saying, "Oh, they would discriminate against me because I didn't understand the Australian way and all that." Jake White doesn't say that. He's over there. He's doing great with their Brumbies. And here's Mickey Arthur making this ridiculous... I think he's claiming something like $4 million, is it? And I find all that quite staggering.
Yeah, $4 million.
Does it affect Brandon? But Brandon, does it affect the Australian side when this kind of thing happens, or is it nothing to do with the cricket, in your view?
No, of course it affects. Of course it affects an Australian side. I mean, when a coach comes in, obviously he brings his ideas, his ideology. You try and I mean, it happens in football as well. I mean, you try and succumb to his way of doing things, and all of a sudden it changes before an Ashes series. Ashes is hard enough as it is, So I don't think it was easy for the Australians, but I don't think Mickey Arthur, I don't think anybody, in terms of that Australian side, could get them to where they needed to be for this series. I don't think they have the quality. I'll say it again for the third time now. But yeah, it's difficult, and especially going. You would think that going to Lords. I mean, I heard someone told me somewhere, and I don't know where I heard it, that actually England don't have a great record at Lords, or is it the other way around? Australia don't have a great record at Lords.
No, England don't have a great record at Lords. It's normally the first one.
Australia haven't been beaten there in 9 Test matches, I think.
Exactly.
So, that's another factor. If you're a stats guru, you should be piling on Australia in the draw in this fixture. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I don't know. England weren't at their best, but I think they'll be better this time.
It was a great test. What I've got to say about it is it was an absolutely wonderful test. Stuart Broad clearly getting an edge and getting caught behind. And my little anecdote here is that Ryan Harris, this 19-year-old that I took to the World Cup in 1999 with me as a journalist, young Australian cricketer, he's been called into the side today. Now, in 1999, when we went to Lords and watched Australia play Zimbabwe in the World Cup, there's Ryan Harris, and he goes running up to Darren Lehmann, who was playing at the time, and says, Boof, he calls him, Boof. Mate, and that's the day I met Darren Lehmann. And today, of all things, in his second test in charge, Darren Lehmann calls in Ryan Harris. I love that story, and I'm fascinated to see how Ryan does, because when he played at Gerrards Cross in English conditions, with me as a club cricketer and him as our pro, he didn't actually do that well. But we'll see if he's adapted to those conditions. What is it now, 14 years later? And he's back at Lords today. I'm looking forward to that one. Do we have anything, Brandon, on Orlando Pirates? Did we manage to find any odds on the Champions League? Brilliant.
Yes, we do. If you click on Soccer International.
Right, I'm coming down. So we're on www.topods.com. Down the left, you go to Soccer International in green. And when you click on that, you find...
You should see CAF Champions League.
Absolutely. Soccer International, CAF Champions League. You've also got World Club Friendlies, which we'll come to. And you've got your Pirates v Leopards. Excellent. Okay, and what are the odds on Pirates? Ooh,
Pirates at the moment, they look fairly short. I mean, Lance Michael and Alan Bookmaker offering 7 to 10. Betting World 6.5 to 10. I don't know. Is this game in Congo or is it in South Africa?
No, it's at the Orlando Stadium, 8:00 on Saturday night. I've just spoken to Roger Desar, the Orlando Pirates coach, on air. And he's hoping for a big crowd. He's hoping to create an atmosphere like they create for us when we go up there. I mean, if you remember, Mark Fish doesn't much like going to the Congo with Pirates, and that was 10 years ago, and I don't think it's got much better. But I see you're 4-1 against against Leopards. So that would be an interesting bet, wouldn't it? Leopards to win 4-1. You're getting good odds on that. Pirates, like you say, quite short, but you would expect that at the Orlando Stadium. We've got to be looking at Pirates to get off to a winning start in the Champions League, I think.
I think that's that's what all South Africans are hoping for. If you are a soccer fan, I don't know if the Chiefs fans want Pirates to progress any further in this tournament.
I'm trying to persuade them that they do.
But in African games, I always like to follow the draw. I don't know why. I know that in the PSL, I mean, 95% of the fixtures, I'm saying 95%. It's much less than that, but it feels that way. End up in draws, 0-0s, 1-1s. So I don't know if maybe the draw here, is not a bad bet. Maybe, a 1-1. I don't know how good Pirates are in terms of their off-season form. I know you spoke to Roger Desar. What did he have to say?
He said, well, they went down. I mean, they've got this new lad, Lennox Bekele, that they've signed, and everyone was questioning his scoring record down at Celtic, Bloemfontein Celtic. But he's come in and scored 4 goals in 2 friendlies, including 2 in Lesotho last weekend. And he's saying Bekele will definitely start. He's saying they're in reasonably good form. He's got the new Ghanaian goalkeeper. He has to weigh up whether he's going to play him ahead of Senzo. He said Collins and Basuma might play a role. He sounded reasonably optimistic. There's 2 Roger Desars. One is the one that I speak to sometimes quite late at night, and the other one I speak to on air. It's been a hard job, but I think he's starting to get some kind of shape together. And we've got the rumours of Kermit Erasmus trying to settle some kind of wage deal, and Kermit Erasmus would be another addition, but he won't be playing this week. And whether they'll get him on the roster for the Champions League, we're not sure. I think they will. It's got to be done pretty soon. But yeah, no, I think I'm looking at the Pirates, a convincing win against Leopards to kick off their campaign, and then they've got the two, Al Ahly and Zamalek, the two big Egyptian sides, and all the trouble going on in Egypt. So I'm looking at a very positive set of odds for Orlando Pirates getting to the final knockout stages of the Champions League. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, as a punter, what you're hoping for and what happens are two different things. I mean, in terms of being a Manchester United fan, you hope they win all the time. When your money's on, you hope they win even more. But, in those big games against Chelsea and Arsenal, you tend to bet with your heart and not your head. So, we'd all love Pirates to win and go through. I think 7-10 is a little bit short for this stage in the season. I mean, they have had an off season. I don't know how fit they are.
Yeah, they're in off season, and Leopards are top of Leopards are the champions, and they're currently drawing at the top of the Congo Brazzaville League. So it is that problem of rustiness for Pirates. But then, can we just come? There's another great. I've just found another section just under that, the World Club Friendlies, and you've got this team called Man United, who tend to lose friendlies under David Moyes, I'm told. Sometimes. When I watch a friendly game, I always look for the value in terms of taking a side in the draw. I mean, I think United got beat last week, and the side they were playing against was something like 12-1. That's right.
14-1.
16-1.
I mean, anything can happen. The ball's round.
Paddy Power had it at 16-1, and they put out a tweet saying, "We don't like this very much that they lost," and it was an amazing result.
I mean, Arsenal had a good result. I think it was yesterday or the day before. They won 7-1, so that bodes them well.
14 goals.
Winning their friendlies and do what they do in the league. But Man United 1-3. I think you're only getting the 1-3 this time around because they have been beaten.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Wayne Rooney had to do with being sent home and things like that. I don't believe so much that he's injured. Yesterday Jose Mourinho coming out saying it's Rooney or bust. So I don't know if maybe sending him out of the squad, sending him home will change things around. It's maybe now a more positive attitude. We know him and David Moyes don't get on very well. So I don't know now in terms of how this United team. I think they'll win. I think they'll beat this.
I think tomorrow. This is in Jakarta.
It might be my heart.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's 6-1 A-League All-Stars Man United. I see. Just to finish off, Brandon, I was going to get Len up from World Sports, but we're going to have to put that to next week. But if we just have a quick look tonight, Amazulu playing Manchester City. Clicking on that SuperSport meet Man City last Sunday. I was there. 2-0 they won. Amazulu tonight to beat Man City are 10-1, mate. Those are huge odds. We're assuming Man City have clawed something back from last week, are we?
You know what I say? I say rather back West Ham to win the Premier League. I think Man City will win tonight. I think it's a rusty first game of the season.
Yeah.
And you hope that Man City put it together. It's always good for fans that pay money, to go and watch a European side. For that European side to give them, something to watch and not get beat. I think Man City will win tonight. I wouldn't back them at 1-6 because you never know. They might score one goal with their new Italian manager defend. But I think City will win tonight.
I loved it that last week when they lost those friendlies, the two Manchester clubs, both under new management, and there was trending on Twitter was Moyes out and Pellegrini out because they'd lost to SuperSport and some, I don't know, what was it, Thailand All-Stars side. Great stuff. Brandon, as always, great to talk to you about topods.com. I would recommend people go in there and have a look.
Before I go.
Go on.
Just before I go, I want to just ask you one question. Did you get on Mexico last week?
No, bloody didn't. Against Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I should have.
You didn't.
But we said, didn't we?
Yeah, well. So punters, don't miss out. Get onto Top Odds and take the 4-10 Mexico like last week, and you show a bit of a profit.
Are they back? Yeah, exactly, mate. There is value to be earned in sports betting, right outside of horse racing, which most South Africans are acquainted with. There's some great betting on your site. I mean, it runs. This list is fascinating. We could talk all day. Brandon, great to talk to you again, and let's keep it going. Topods.com. I mean, they've even been running videos of this show on the top of on the front page. Have a look at it. See if you want to get some money on it. Brandon, until next week. Thanks a million.
Thanks a lot, Neil. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.